Well, hello there, folks, and a very warm welcome, as usual, back to What's for Tea and my wee recipe for this week. And it's lovely to see you again, and I hope that I find you very well. And thanks for coming over just to spend the next 8 minutes with me, and I'll show you how I put these beautiful buns together. These were the lightest, fluffiest buns I've ever made, so don't be fooled by all the icing thinking they're going to be really heavy. They were actually really, really light. These were absolutely delicious. So I'll show you how I'm making the buns, and then we'll do the icing and then pop the cherry on top. I will put the ingredients on the screen as I use them, but as usual I will leave them in the description box underneath the video, along with any other relevant information. So this is everything that I used here, but again, you'll find everything underneath the video. So I've got some strong white flour, I've got some warm water, some soft unsalted butter, a wee touch of salt, I've got some eggs there, I've got some caster sugar as well. If you can't find caster sugar, just use ordinary granulated sugar. I've got some warm milk, and I've also got some instant yeast as well. This is the yeast that I used here, and it's got convenient wee sachets inside, and you'll need 2 of these. You normally get them in 7-gram sachets, so 2 of them. And for the top, we're going to use some icing sugar, some milk, and then some glassy cherries, which we're just going to halve through the middle. So get your dough done. I'm using my stand mix and a sieve. I'm just going to run my flour through the sieve so that it's nice and airy and lump free. To this, I'm going to add my salt and also the sugar. So I'm using caster sugar, but like I said, just use ordinary sugar if you can't find caster sugar. And then the yeast as well, I'm just going to pop into the corner, and then 2 medium eggs. I believe in the US these are large eggs, but medium eggs here anyway. And I'm going to add the warm milk as well, and then the unsalted butter. This is softened butter. So that's all of your ingredients for the time being. I am using my bread hook. Start off your mixer in quite a slow speed until the ingredients start to come together, and then you can slowly add in your warm water as well, just nice and slowly. Once everything is combined, you can speed up your machine, and you want to let this knead for about 10 minutes. And it'll look something like this, and it will go nice and elasticy. You know, when you try and pull it, it will snap back, as you can see there, and you know that is done and you're ready to move on. So get your dough off of your bread hook. I'm just going to keep this in the same bowl. No point in dirtying a second bowl. So now we're just going to let this prove. I am using this wee shower cap, I'm going to call it, but they're actually food covers, and they're really handy. You get them, you get quite a few in a pack, and I will link these down below because they're really handy to have. You can get these ones on Amazon, and I think they're only about £3 or £3.50, something like that. I've oiled the underside of this cover just to make sure the dough doesn't stick to it. And look at the size of this. This was me an hour later. You do want to put this in a nice warm draft free spot. I just pop this into my oven with the light on, and that normally is warm enough, and you can see how puffy and stretchy that is. So get over to your work surface. I've got some plain flour on there. Get your dough out of your bowl onto your work surface, and you just want to, get the air and the gas that's built up in this out. So just flatten it down with your hands. Just keep pushing and pressing, and you'll get rid of all of that gas. And now we're going to weigh the dough. So you want this in exactly the same sizes, ideally, because you want all your rolls the same size. Mine were around 70 grams, and I get 13 rolls from my dough. So you just want to shape them into balls. If you have your hand in a sort of claw position and just keep your wrist on your work surface and go round and round, you will end up with these beautifully smooth round balls, and it's really, really easy to do. So do that for all of your dough. A second, I'll just show you the technique that I'm using, because I do slow it down a wee bit in a second, but just keep going until all of your dough is gone. Like I said, I get 13, a baker's dozen from my mix. So you just want to grab one of your pieces of dough and sort of pull it underneath so that it stretches on the top. Just sort of pinch it out from the corners into the middle, just like this. So pull it out, push it back, pull it out, push it back, pull it out, push it back, all the way around, and you'll end up with a nice smooth top. And then with that clawed hand, just go round and round and round in that cage that you've made for your hand, and they will turn out lovely and smooth and round, just like these. So pop these onto your tray, and you want to let these prove again. So you want a damp, lightweight tea towel. You just gently sit that over the top, and you want to put this into the same draft-free, cosy spot that you had your dough in before for another half an hour, and they will come out looking something like this. And don't worry if you think they're too close together. We want these to kiss in the oven so that they join up. In another bowl, I've got an egg, a dash of salt, and a wee splash of water. Combine these with a fork, and we're just going to brush that onto the top of your rolls, and this is going to give them a lovely brown glossy appearance once they come out the oven. These were beautiful and bouncy as well. The texture of these was fab. So get these into your oven again. You want to bake these for 10 to 15 minutes until they're looking something like this. And don't they look fab? And because we've weighed them, you know, they're all exactly the same size. And you want to let these cool completely before you put the icing on, because you don't want the icing all running off too much. And they should be sounding like this. If they sound hollow, then they're ready. So get them onto a wire rack, and like I said, you want to let these cool completely, and it could take you a couple of hours, you know, to cool properly. And these are so fluffy and so light. Oh, they were just lovely. You could actually have these on their own without any icing, but traditionally they would have icing on top, so that's what I'm going to do. So separate your rolls up. This is going to make them cool down a wee bit quicker, and I'll just let you see what they're like inside. And as you can see, they are lovely and fluffy inside, not heavy or doughy at all, and they've got a lovely wee bit of chew to them as well, just so satisfying to eat. So once your rolls are completely cold, you want to slice your glacé cherries and make up the icing. So you want to run this through a sieve to make sure there are no lumps. I like to add milk to my icing sugar instead of water, because it makes it a wee bit whiter and gives it a nicer flavour. You do want this quite thick because you want it to stick to the top of your rolls. So just dip your roll in. Then you just want to hold it there until some of your icing runs out, and then pop your cherry on top. Stick it on a wire rack and let this, you know, set completely. You can pop these into the fridge, you know, if you live in a hot country. You can pop them into the fridge. But you do want plenty of icing on there, and you want it dripping down the side. These aren't meant to be perfect. They are just grab and go, unctuous, delicious snacks just to enjoy on the go, I think, or with a nice cup of tea or coffee. So yeah, pile them high with your icing, yeah, and just enjoy. And do let me know if you're planning and giving those ones a go. So thank you so much for watching and sticking with me till the end, because it was a longer recipe compared to my normal. And a huge thank you, as usual, to the supporters of the channel over my Patreon page, and to the channel members here as well, for you all for watching and leaving your lovely comments. I do love to read them, and for those that share the videos as well. And I will catch up with you during the week for another wee recipe, shopping, unbagging, or back on Sunday. So take care and bye for now. Bye now.